function here. There we go. Okay, you're all set now.
Okay, so we are the sales and marketing department at the Bell Ripper Hotel in San Diego, and we're going to explain to you our development plan for a better sales program over the next 6 months or so. And we are committed to finding the best sales and marketing programs that we can to inspire customers to want to come to this hotel and spend their money here, and hopefully make us all wealthier people. So like I said, we are going to summarize, we have a program that we put together that summarizes the rooms sold from January to June by all of our salespersons. And we are going to develop a marketing program here with you guys for the rest of the year. And this is my boss, Tony Yabo. He's the director of sales. He's responsible for making me run around and meet with lots of clients and make sure that we get lots of weddings in and all kinds of fun stuff like that. So, when I'm the manager of sales, I meet with our bigger groups that come in, either the conferences or the weddings or sports teams and stuff like that. And I kind of implement different strategies through my sales teams. And this is Chris. He's the director of marketing. He's responsible for putting all the numbers together and making sure that we have good advertisements out there, that people know about us and they know where to find us.
All right, so I'll go ahead and cover the data analysis part. The first part of our data analysis entailed creating room sold analysis workbooks. So that would include, we included in that 4 separate data tables for each of our 4 salesperson on staff. In addition to that, we built a table summarizing the data represented in those 4 tables, and the data in all 5 tables is in units sold, in rooms sold, like not in dollars or anything like that, and it covers the first 6 months of the fiscal year up through June. All right, so this just is this is just the four tables representing each of our 4 sales persons. And how is this useful? From this, we decided to put Jeanette in charge of reviewing Danny's sales progress going forward. Pretty obviously, this is just because if you look at the monthly totals row, Jeanette is, if I could move the mouse there. Well, that's about 2,200 total rooms sold for the first 6 months of the year. And obviously Danny's having a little bit of problems. He's lagging quite a bit there with 1,500. So we just use this data summarized here to sort of consider, making Jeanette sort of, putting her in sort of a supervisor type role over Danny going forward. This is the sales data summary table. It just summarizes the data on the previous 4 tables for each of our sales persons. But in addition, there's a couple of things I should point out here. So this does not include a summary of sales broken down by the type of room. This would just include sales by month. It has a monthly totals column here for all of our sales staff combined. This is a little bit more illustrative for determining overall trends for our entire sales team. So you can see in general from this that sales tends to increase over the year going forward, although the pattern isn't, it's not extremely robust. I mean, there's a big decrease in April, for example. So the second part of our data analysis is basically just an extension of the first part of our data analysis. We use the same workbook, but we added a few features to it. So we added a percent of rooms sold column to our sales summary table. We represented that percent of rooms sold column with a pie chart. This will be clear as I go forward and I show this to you. But we also added a percent change month over month row for the sales summary table as well. That is just like change in each month from the prior month. So we also have a line chart which allows us to sort of visualize what's happening with that data a little bit better. Okay, so just to point out what I was just talking about. These are some additions we made in the second part of our data analysis. So this is the percent of rooms sold row right here, I'm sorry, column. This just kind of highlights what I was talking about in the first part of our data analysis. So it's quite clear here that Jeanette, before we just had raw numbers for her total sales, it looked, I'm sorry about that, looked obvious that she was, you know, far and away our best salesperson, but this puts a number to it. She represents 32% of our sales overall. And then the second thing I was talking about that we added was percent increase, decrease, so change month over month. So how this works basically is just that in February we had an increase of 2% over January, and for example, April was a drop of 9% over March, and so forth. So yeah, we have the pie chart here, which just represents the sales by person. So that column that I was pointing out, this is just a pie chart here, so it's easier to visualize. It makes the conclusions based on the data a little bit more apparent, I guess. And this is just a sales data summary. This is just summarizes the row and change month over month. So I don't know how useful this is other than demonstrating that the rate of change in the growth of our sales over the first 6 months of the year is highly variable. So we implemented a few, we had some ideas as far as our sales and marketing strategy going forward, and Tony will go ahead and talk about that based on this analysis.
Okay guys, basically my job is to turn the numbers into real life. Like, what can we make out of these data? Basically, my co-workers gave me the data and we came together, we worked in meetings and stuff, so we came up with 3 ideas to make the company better and rise sales. Like he said, by far Janelle was our best salesperson, so we made a vice captain. Basically, during the meeting, she'll talk about, you know, what's her strength, what's her weaknesses, so the other salesperson can learn from it. So she has she figured out a new way of bringing sales in January, because that's our low month. She could give them advice how to bring sales in January. Then we also find out what was our lowest selling month, which was January, so we tagged that the red month. Basically, that's where that's what Chris in the marketing department will focuses on doing advertisement for. And if you've seen the line chart too, the line graph we had, it was going like a W, it was going up and down. So we decided to do discount months in between the months, so we could try to keep more of a straight line instead of a little W. So basically, we grab the data from Excel, we analyze it, turn it into graph, and then we turn it into action. So that's what the marketing and sales department do. Thank you.
Any questions? All right, good job, guys. Very good job. Thank you very much.